Welcome to Defi Crypto Today. Our topic today is a Wonderland update, and we're going to talk about a couple of strategies that you might find interesting. Alright, so we're in Wonderland, as you can see, and we're having tea with the Alice and the Mad Hatter, the Hare, and so on. Basically, there's new stuff that just came out for Wonderland and Abracadabra. Basically, they all programmed by the same team. It's all under the auspices of Daniele Sestaylor. You should check his Twitter. There's a lot of fun stuff there. So what's happening to Wonderland? Well, right now, if you just go to the Wonderland page, there's not that much visible excitement, except that the APY is crazy high. So I'm taking advantage of that. But if you check on Abracadabra, the kind of the sister website to this, if you will, on the Avalanche side, we've got something new. Got wMEMOs. So basically, before we could only like you should watch my Abracadabra video for more information. But at the time I did the video last, if we were on Avalanche, we could only summon some wMEMs if we had AVAX tokens staked in here. Okay. Now it's possible to summon wMEMs with wMEMOs as well. Fortunately, they got snapped up as soon as they got issued. So they're gone. Like I saw it, the minute I saw it, I checked and they were gone already. So I don't think they lasted very long. And there's already $54 million worth of TVL in the wMEMO section. Much more popular, unfortunately, than the poor AVAX here with only 3 million. So it's still 14 million. If you want to use the AVAX, it's still $14 million worth of wMEMs here available for this pool. But unfortunately, only $6 left for this the wMEMO pool. So we're still gonna have a quick look. I mean, I already explained all this in the Abracadabra video, but we're going to have a refresher. So essentially, what's the memo? You're going to say, well, if we go on the Wonderland protocol and we have time tokens, once we stake them, they become memo tokens. So they are an interest here, and you can use them on Abracadabra here after you wrap them. So you go here, you wrapped your memos. So let's say I wanted to wrap my memo. I would go here, I would say wrap, I would end up with this many wMEMO tokens and blah blah blah. I'm not going to do it because there aren't any wMEMs available. It's no point in doing this. But once the wMEMs are replenished, I might want to try this, and maybe I'll do a video at the same time to show you how it's done. So let's pretend that we have a wMEMO here, and that we're going to have some wMEMs in exchange. Now you're going to notice that you can't click on 50, 70, and 90%. And you say, why? Because I don't know if you remember, but in my previous Wonderland video, I did explain that the time tokens have extremely wild fluctuations. Okay, if we look at CoinGecko, this is the last month, 14 days. Okay, just to give you an idea, the difference between this line and this line is $1,000, and it's only 2 days. So if you bought it at $4,000 here, 2 days later it's $3,000, and if you don't have the stomach for it, you probably just puked your guts out. And it's quite the roller coaster. Okay, and that's normal for this type of protocol. It's based on the Olympus DAO protocol. I also did a video about this. I love this protocol, but the fluctuations are very wild and you need to have a strong stomach for this. If you get nervous when your assets fluctuate $10, okay, you're gonna go nuts, you're gonna lose your mind here. So it's not for people that cannot tolerate a certain amount of risk. Okay, it's very risky. You cannot borrow a lot of money and buy this and hope to double your money the next day. Okay, chances are you're gonna get wiped out. Okay, it's for the long term. Okay, I'm going to emphasize this many times. Every time I'm going to talk about Wonderland or Olympus DAO, I'm going to emphasize long term. Okay, I'm going to show you what I mean here. This is taken from the Wonderland documentation. Okay, so let's say you assume that you're getting 2% compounded daily. Right now we're not getting 2%, we're getting close to 2% per day. I don't care if it's only 1% per day, it's still fantastic. Okay, now this is what you need to understand. The market fluctuations, on the daily market fluctuations, it's just noise. You need to be able to shut out the noise from your thinking when you use this type of protocol. It's not your standard DeFi protocol. So let's say you invested here, okay, and you bought like one-time token, okay? You just leave it there, okay? You don't have to check the price every single day. You don't have, and if you check the price every single day, like I do, because I love checking the price of my portfolio, I don't worry if it dropped 50%. Okay, I don't care. Why? Because I know that over the long term, I'm going to win. If assuming that the code is good, that nobody hacked in the system and everything. Assuming everything works normally, okay, this is what should happen, okay? The first 2-3 months, you don't see a lot of change. The last 2-3 months of the year, this is a whole year, we have 365 days here. The last 2-3 months of the year, it's parabolic. The value of your staked tokens, okay, goes up in a parabolic fashion after a long period of time. That's just math, okay? So, like for instance, if you look at the numbers here, you would get close to about 1,400 tokens if you started with one and you just wait a year, okay? How much each token is gonna, I don't know. I don't really care. They might be half of, you know, right now the tokens are around $4,000. Maybe the token is gonna be $50 at that point, but that doesn't really matter. You're gonna have so many more tokens, okay? That over time you win anyway. And you're not gonna have only $50 per token. Already the value per token in the treasury is several $100s. Okay, so it's very unlikely that you're going to lose money with this over the long term. Over the short term, it's very likely that you could lose money. Okay, if you buy it here, you sell it there, you lost a fortune. Okay. Hold it for the long term. If you're planning on playing with this project, if you think and you look at this project and say, oh my God, look at that, I don't understand it, it doesn't make sense to me, then avoid it. Don't play with this. Okay. All right. So let's go back to the excitement. So this is, so we wrapped our memos, right? And because this type of token is super volatile, the programmers at Abracadabra figured, okay, we're not going to let them borrow 90%. They're going to get wiped out in 10 minutes. Okay, so your maximum is 25%. So you could borrow up to 25% of the value of your wrapped memo tokens. But already 25%, although it looks small, it's already considered very high risk. They considered that you could lose 75% of the value of your wrapped memo tokens, okay, very fast. So maybe in 2-3 days you could get liquidated, okay? So 25% is the maximum, and you would have to watch this, the price of your memo, your time tokens, essentially, like a hawk, okay, every 10 minutes, okay, get like yourself a system to warn you of the price, okay, and you check on your watch, you know, get an Apple Watch and get it to notify you on your watch or something, or bring on your phone, or God knows. Okay, every time the price gets too close to liquidation. So if you want to sleep at night, it's probably better to use custom, and you can go with, I don't know, like 10%, you can try 15%, it's still considered safe according to them. You can try, let's see, 20%, how does that say? Ooh, medium. So already between 15 and 20% is a big difference, apparently. So you choose whatever you feel comfortable with, okay. The lower the number, obviously, the lower your chances of liquidation, but also the lower your potential returns, okay. So you got to balance things out. So if I were to do it, I would probably go around 15%, okay. Unless I think it's too risky, then it would go to 10%. So 10 to 15%. Me personally, I might feel comfortable doing this if I wanted to use this feature. Now you can also click on change leverage, and what this does is that it allows you to maximize your return by going through loops, right? What does that mean is that, so essentially it's going to calculate what if you had wrapped memos as a collateral. You borrow MEMS against that according to the percentages you got here. You take those MEMS, you buy more time tokens, you stake them, you wrap them, you borrow more MEMS against the new collateral, and so on and so on, and you loop 10 times for this, okay. So you can go 10 times, 5 times, whatever. You click on the number, okay. So obviously they have different colors here, and you consider that dark red is very risky. So what it would do, if we had any values here, you'd see these values change as well. You would have an expected MIM amount that could be borrowed total, okay, for the maximum number of loops. You would get an expected APY, which would be greater than this APY. So right now we have 42,785%, and here it says 42,820, whatever. So I'm not sure if it already calculated it. Did it? No, that's the. We would have to update this. It's not updated right now. But anyway, so it gives you. It would give you a new rate here. Okay, that's should be higher than the normal rate. Otherwise, there's no point in doing this. And this is your leverage, and because you start at 15, now you would have 1.18, so you have X, okay. So you gain a little bit more leverage than just than not looping. Okay, and then it would calculate your expected liquidation price. So and they would say, okay, if the price of the wrapped memo goes below this value, you're going to get liquidated. So you have to consider this very carefully, okay? Because as we saw, the time token is very volatile. So the chances of getting liquidated are very high. You have to use a safe setting if you want, and to use this. And you got to be careful when you loop also, because that also does increase risk. Okay. Anyway, the nice thing with this is that you can perform all this nice stuff just by clicking this button. Okay, once they replenish the NIM supply for wrapped memo tokens. Okay, we can't do it today right now. It's not available. All right. So that's one way. That's one strategy to maximize your return on time tokens with Wonderland. Okay, so you go on Abracadabra and you can do this. Now I'm going to show you a couple of other methods, okay, that you might find interesting. So let's go back to the stand. Now here's something interesting. Let's say we're all on Avalanche right now. Okay, Wonderland is on Avalanche, Abracadabra is on multiple chains, but we're using the Avalanche chain right now. So there's a lot of hype about AVAX or Avalanche right now. So if we look at the price of Avalanche in the last 90 days, well, you can see that prior to August 15, I think, yeah, 15, nobody traded this damn token, right? and then obviously people woke up to Avalanche. I woke up to Avalanche as well when they started the promotion in August and said, okay, we're going to give like millions of dollars worth of bonus tokens on various protocols, including Benqi and eventually Aave, Curve, and Sushi and other places. Okay, and now the volume skyrocketed and the price as well. So a lot of people are very enthusiastic right now about Avalanche. There's billions and billions and billions of dollars staked on various protocols on Avalanche right now. Since the beginning of the promotion, there's a lot of hype right now. So how can you take advantage of this? Okay, and how can this apply to Wonderland, you wonder? Okay, let's check it out. So let's say you bought a lot of AVAX tokens, right? And you figured, okay, I really like Wonderland because the APY is fantastic, but I don't want to sell all my AVAX tokens. Let's say you have, I don't know, 500, 1,000 AVAX tokens, whatever you've got. Okay, you got a lot of them. So there's a lot of value here, but you think that the AVAX token is really going to go up in value. It's how much is it now? It's $72. You think, and this is going to go over 100? You think? Okay, maybe not. Okay, but you know, you're very hopeful that the AVAX token is going to go up in value. All right, so let's pretend. Okay, so what you want to do is you figured, hey, I could go to Abracadabra money and I could get an interest for 1% and use these MIMs here. So you could use your AVAX tokens as collateral. They're going to get wrapped. and you could borrow against your MEMO, against your AVAX collateral. And you got 25% you can choose, 50%, or up to 70%, but it's very high risk. So you figured, I don't know, 50% or whatever, custom, maybe you want to go 40%. Oh, that's still considered safe. So let's say you go 40%, right? So if, let's say you got $10,000 here, you could get 40% of that value. That's $4,000. So right now, you're betting that the AVAX token is going to go up in value, and that's why you don't want to sell them. So you put them here as collateral, and you borrow $4,000 against it, and then you can take those MEMO tokens, and if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to trade them here. Can we or not? Let me check that. Ooh, we can. So we could go to Trader Joe, take our MEMO tokens, and swap them for some time, and then we go back to Wonderland and we stake the time. Okay, so basically you're using your AVAX token as collateral. You borrow MEMS against that. You swap your MEMS for time, and you stake your time, and you're increasing your earnings to take advantage of this fantastic APY right now. So that's one strategy. And I have another one. There are lots of strategies, okay? I'm not saying any of these are good strategies. None of these are safe. None are safe strategies, okay? You have to manage your risk yourself. Okay, I'm not saying strategy A, B, or C is better than the other. I'm just showing you ideas. You do what the hey you want with them. Okay, so you might say, too complicated. I'm just gonna buy some time tokens and stake them, or even better yet, I'm not gonna even bother with this Wonderland thing. It looks too crazy for me. Do what you want. Okay, I'm just showing you different things that could be done, and that could be fun, and they could help you increase your yield. So, what else can we do with this stuff? Well, I did also a couple videos about Benqi. Okay, Benqi is a fine protocol. There are risks involved, and you should check my video. I was not very happy with their audit, okay, but protocol's been okay for the last few weeks at least, and there's a ton of money supplied there. There's $2.8 billion staked in here, and over $1 billion borrowed. So far so good. Let's hope it stays this way. So let's stick to the story that we have a lot of AVAX tokens, okay, because that's what we like. Okay. So we have a lot of AVAX tokens. We think AVAX is going to the moon. We don't want to sell our AVAX to buy time tokens. So what do we do? Okay, so we can go to Benqi. And at the moment, we could deposit our AVAX tokens and earn 8.82%. That's not bad. Compare that to your bank account, your savings account at the fiat bank. So, and then you can use this as a collateral. Okay, so how does that work? So let's pretend that we deposited. So we're gonna go here, and we could go on the borrow. It's gonna say that we don't have any collateral, blah blah blah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Well, what we need to learn, okay, is that we can use 60% of our AVAX tokens as collateral. So that's a little bit better than on Abracadabra, okay? If we remember, well, we could go to 70% here, but they consider this very high risk, okay? So, you know, you be the judge, okay? On this, unfortunately, we're not earning interest. We have to pay 1% interest on our MIMs, okay? It's still very low interest, okay? So it depends what you feel like doing, okay? All right, so we go back to Benqi, and we say, okay, according to these guys, we could borrow 60%, okay, of this. You're going to see, again, there's a risk factor or whatever. Maybe you want to only borrow 40%, 50%, whatever, okay, according to your risk tolerance, okay? Just try to keep it safe. You don't want to get liquidated too fast, right? What if AVAX drops 20% tomorrow? Okay, think about that. But anyway, so good news is you can use up to 60% as collateral. Then we go back to overview, and we look at what happens if we borrow against our AVAX collateral. So the negative numbers mean we're paying out. The positive numbers mean we're getting paid, okay? Basically, what happens that you have a normal borrow APY of 10.51% here, and you have a distribution APY of 2.73, okay? So basically, they're reducing our paying out in interest, okay, by giving us a bonus. So we're only paying 7.79% if we borrow AVAX against our AVAX collateral. But we don't have to pay 7%. We could pay a lot less. We could pay 0.07% or even earn something or against our collateral when we borrow, okay? Personally, I tend to borrow only stable coins. So I look at these three, USDC, USDT, or DAI, and I try to get the best rate. Because they're more or less the same thing. They're all pegged to the US dollar. They're not going to vary considerably, okay, and increase my liability to the moon, okay, and kill my collateral and get me liquidated, okay. That's why I prefer to use US stable coins when I borrow against any kind of value, okay? So right now the one with the best interest rate happens to be USDT, okay? So I figured, okay, I can borrow up to whatever percent I figured was safe for me. My maximum with AVAX would be 60%, but that's probably a little bit risky, so maybe I'll go down to 50%. Just in case there's a big drop in AVAX prices overnight. Okay. All right. Now, so again, let's say we have $10,000 worth of AVAX. We could borrow, let's say for 50%, we would borrow $5,000. And we would go right here to Trader Joe and get the USDT, put it there, and trade it for, swap it for some time. And then we go back here and we stick time again. All right, so obviously there are a lot of risks when you do all this, okay? Let me explain all the risks involved, okay, for those that are not clear on that. First of all, let's say we do this strategy, okay? There's a price fluctuation risk with AVAX, okay? AVAX could drop like a stone tomorrow. Maybe there's a problem happens, okay? Whatever, okay? China bans AVAX, whatever, okay? And the price crashes tomorrow, you lose 20-30% overnight, okay? That could trigger liquidation for your loan here, okay? And you could lose a very large chunk of your collateral, if not all, okay? That's one risk. Number 2 risk. I did mention that I was not super happy with the Benqi audit. The auditors found a medium risk, okay, and they figured, well, you know, if you leave this code the way it is, there's a chance that somebody might just take all the money out. Okay, the Benqi people said, that's not a problem. We think it's okay. So you decide what you want, okay, and so that's risk number 2. Risk number 3, maybe USDT gets off peg. That's unlikely, but it's still a possibility. Okay, so maybe it drops 5%, 10%, because I don't know. US government says, okay, we don't like USDT, whatever. That's a possibility. The other possibility is the time risk. Okay, we already know that it fluctuates wildly. So maybe you borrow and you deposit here, and tomorrow the value is half of what it was. So you deposited, let's say, $5,000, as we did in our example. You swapped it for time. You stake your time here, and tomorrow, instead of $4,000 per token, it's $2,000 per token, and you're pulling your hair out of your head. Okay, that's another risk. And 5th risk is maybe there's a code problem in the Wonderland protocol. Okay, so we've got at least 5 risks here. Okay, and don't forget, hackers can go in here, they can go on Benqi, they can go all over the place. Okay, so again, not for the faint of heart. Okay, I don't recommend those strategies. I'm just showing you strategies that can be used if you want to maximize your yield. It also increases the risk considerably, but you can manage your risk by changing pulling your collateral higher or lower, your loan to value levels higher or lower. Okay, so those are possibilities. Now, don't forget that time is your friend in the sense that the longer you put your tokens in the protocol, the better your chances of earning very high rewards. Okay, and that the very wild price fluctuations that happen all the time are mostly noise if you look at things long term. Okay, it's a little bit like, okay, you're gonna have a hurricane, okay, the town's gonna get blown up, but eventually people rebuild and things get better. Okay, that's what a market crash is. Okay, it's like a hurricane. But yeah, the price fluctuations, I mean, just think of when you have a lot of storms, but over the long term things get better. Okay, so long term, these are long term strategies. Okay, but if you use leverage like we're doing here, watch what your AVAX token is doing so that you don't get liquidated. Okay, if there are too many here, the price fluctuations are more important than on Wonderland. Okay, here you care more if you're going to lose your AVAX tokens because of liquidation. Okay, so watch out here. Keep your LTV, loan to value ratio, reasonably low, but high enough for you to take advantage of the strategy to maximize your earnings. Okay. All right. I hope this helps you understand various strategies. Maybe it's going to give you ideas. These are not the only strategies you can use. There are thousands of strategies you could use. Okay. I just wanted to give you a couple of interesting ideas. So, if you like this kind of stuff, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell to know when I'm posting new videos. Don't forget the free book that explains other strategies. And if you don't want the book for free, you can give money to Jeff Bezos at Amazon. The price of the book is $5.99. And Jeff eventually is going to send me a check for $1. So, see you next time. Bye.